Farscape Engineers Inspector Summary Video. We're here in Lodi, New Jersey, completing a Farscape. This is a Farscape Summary Review. What we're looking here is a Farscape that is 50 to 75 years old, as original to the building. And what we're looking for in this inspection is to satisfy the law. The law is very simple. You must load test your Farscape or provide to the inspector an alternative that also offers a certification and a guarantee that the Farscape is ready to be load tested. So in that case, in a 50 to 75-year-old Farscape, usually within the past 25 years, the major structural on this Farscape has been reinforced or replaced. So we were here to see that all the staircase should have been rebolted. In this case, it is not. It's got all original square head bolts on the treads. We are looking for some evidence of rebolting and or reinforcement of the platform. All original square head bolts on that one. We're looking for any evidence of reinforcement on this one. Again, 50 to 75 years old, the major superstructure usually gets rebolted. This one has no evidence. So this Farscape has never been refurbished or reinforced in its 50 to 75-year life. The only thing that this Farscape has ever seen is just paint jobs of some kind, and right now it's in need of another paint job. So even on the paint, it has not seen a paint job in at least 15 to 25 years. With that being said, the refurbishment of this Farscape and getting it ready for a load test, because as is, it will not take a load test. We will not authorize a load test, simply because every connection on this Farscape is 50 to 75 years old. So we will not authorize a load test on this Farscape. Now, to refurbish this Farscape in lieu of a load test, and again, the city official still has the power to load test it, but we need to offer the city official a guarantee that the Farscape will hold a load test, and the guarantee is going to come in this form. Starting with the treads, 100% of all the treads need to be rebolted. No rust in any connection, so all the connections must be clean of any rust. Reinforce or rebolt 100% of the entire staircase. The platforms up above, the connections that tie at the points, those must be rebolted or reinforced, whatever's cheaper to the client. The tiebacks into the building, those must be verified. You have to go inside the building and verify that the tiebacks into the building are good from external or internal view and verification. If not, if it's faster and cheaper, you want some new Hilti epoxy bolts next to the connection. So 3 to 5 inches away from the connection, you put a new bolt into the wall, 8 to 12 inches, then mechanically fasten back to the support. Now you've basically prepared the platform to be load tested. The whole frame of the platform, all the critical corner connections, no square bolts there. You need to rebolt those connections. The flats that go across on this Farscape do not need to be rebolted unless they've got evidence of rust in them, because those are minor structural, but the framing of the platform needs to be done. All the rails, the corner posts need to be rebolted, but the bars in between the rails, they do not need to be rebolted, but they need to be in good to excellent condition. The staircase, the stringer clips at the top and the clips at the bottom need to be rebolted. The rails, any posting on the rails coming down need to be rebolted, because it's a critical component. This platform and that platform both need the same thing. So reinforce the entire platform with new bolting. The supports that go into the wall need to be verified, or they need to be duplicated with new epoxy anchors 8 to 12 inches deep into the wall. Let's take a look at this ladder. This ladder, first of all, needs to be balanced so that when you release it, it drops 2 to 3 feet per second. It does not go back up. This stops anybody from getting up to the Farscape, including the firemen. So you need to perfectly balance this ladder so that when you release it, it drops to the ground and stays down. So you need to put a chain or a lock mechanism right there, and that thing will allow the Farscapes from being pulled down by anybody trying to break into the building. So it's an anti-theft device. At the same time, it's a release mechanism to drop your ladder. The weight box is, and the cable associated with the weight box is old. It's unverifiable right now, so, and it's all rusted. So change the entire cable. That pulley system up there, it's original to the building. Those pulleys are cast iron. They're not reliable anymore. So you need to basically just get a new pulley system that the cable will go through. They're much smaller. They're also housed and some of them will have a simple bearing system on them, but that cannot be utilized currently the way it is, because if that wheel pulley ever breaks due to the casting, this will all come tumbling down to the ground. So the cable and the pulley up there needs to be swapped out. The ladder and the connections to the ladder, all original hardware, so that all needs to be swapped out, whatever holds the ladder in place. The weight box is controlled, and it's got, so in case it ever gets released and the cable ever breaks, with a new release arm on the ladder and a control on the weight box, this thing will never hurt anybody. The last thing we need too on here is that, as you can see from evidence of all the rusting, this ladder actually comes down into this parking space here. And sometimes when people, and during snow emergencies or whatever it may be, they don't always will park. So what you're going to want to do is put in a bollard or some form of marking here on the ground, very clearly identifying that no parking be behind us. So a lot of times a bollard is what you want to use here, but because of snow and plows you may have a problem. But definitely a huge yellow streak will keep this car from ever parking in an area where the ladder comes down and falls down. So again, because this fire escape has never been refurbished, you're looking at least 75% refurbishment on this fire escape, and it needs a full paint job. Now, paint job, this fire escape is older than 1978, so this fire escape must be handled by somebody, because it does have lead. It must be handled by somebody with a renovator's license, and all that is a general contractor that has gone to an EPA course that understands that you cannot weld on this fire escape, you can only change bolts. So no welding of any kind on this fire escape. It's an occupied building with children. Can't weld on a fire escape that has lead. The other thing too is that any work done on this fire escape must be done with a full repair permit. So no work of any kind allowed on this without a repair permit. And last, the engineer oversight. This fire escape must have about could be done as little as 3 visits, but sometimes a visit takes about 5 visits by a structural engineer who will oversee and coordinate with the city official that the fire escape is being refurbished, and that under his watch he will guarantee at the end of the repair, with 3 to 5 visits, confirming all the connections into the wall, confirming all the connections, and prior to any paint job, the engineer must sign off on this fire escape, saying that all the structure was done to his satisfaction and to his guidance. With that, the fire escape is then ready to be painted, and again by an EPA renovator. So any questions? Fire escape engineers, Inspector Meneses, 800-649-3333.